Welcome to Have You Heard? Today we're exploring 9 old-timey words, where they came from, and why we don't use them anymore. The U.S. Civil War gave us skedaddle. In 1861, Union soldiers watching Confederates flee the battlefield yelled, "The secessiors are skedaddling!" The New York Tribune explained it meant making good use of their legs in time of danger. Nobody knows exactly where it came from, though. Maybe British dialect, scatter, meaning to run in fright. Maybe imitation of scattering sounds? By 1862, everyone from soldiers to civilians was skedaddling. Anthony Trollope put it in his 1867 novel when a character says, "Major Grantley has skedaddled." We still use it, but it sounds delightfully old-fashioned. Smidgen means a tiny amount. First recorded in 1845, it's pure American invention, probably based on smitch, meaning a tiny bit. Cooks use it for measurements too small for teaspoons. Add a smidgen of salt. We definitely still use this one, proving that some old-timey words survive perfectly. Nincompoop means fool or simpleton. First appearing around 1668, Samuel Johnson claimed it came from Latin non compos mentis, not of sound mind. But earliest spellings were Nincompoop and Nincompoop. Most likely it's from the biblical Nicodemus. He was a Pharisee who asked naive questions, or French Nicodème, meaning fool. It's a fanciful formation, a silly word created to sound ridiculous. Thomas Durfee used it in 1694. "Art not thou ashamed to see me, thou nincompoop?" We barely use it now, preferring modern insults like idiots or fool. Highfalutin means pompous or pretentious. Originating in the mid-1800s America, it's mock fancy talk, possibly from high fluting, speaking in high pitch like a flute. By the 1850s, it described people putting on airs. We've mostly abandoned it for pretentious or pompous. Malarkey means nonsense or lies. It appeared in American slang around the 1920s or 30s, possibly from the Irish surname Malarkey. The word gained fame when politicians used it to dismiss opponents' claims. It peaked in popularity in the mid-20th century, but we've mostly switched to BS or nonsense. Gobbledygook has an exact birth date. When? March 30th, 1944. Texas Congressman Maury Maverick, grandson of the man who gave us Maverick, coined it in a memo banning gobbledygook language, threatening anyone using activation or implementation will be shot. Yeah, he made it up, imitating turkey noises to describe bureaucratic double talk. It spread like wildfire because Washington, D.C. was full of confusing jargon during World War II. Today, too. We still use it occasionally for pretentious jargon. Comeuppance means getting deserved punishment. First recorded in 1859 America, it comes from the phrase, "come up," appear before a judge for sentencing. Getting your comeuppance meant facing consequences. We sometimes still use it. He got his comeuppance. Skullduggery means trickery or deceitful behavior. Appearing in the mid-1800s, it's possibly from Scottish skullduggery, obscenity or adultery. By 1867, it described underhanded schemes and sneaky plots. We've mostly replaced it with scheming or deception. Kerfuffle means commotion or fuss. From Scottish-Irish kerfuffle, to disarrange, it entered English in the early 1800s. It perfectly captures unnecessary drama. "Don't make such a kerfuffle." British speakers still love it, but Americans rarely use it. We prefer fuss or drama. So why don't we use these words anymore? Language evolves, shorter, simpler words replace colorful, old-timey ones. Skedaddle became bolt, nincompoop became idiots, highfalutin became pretentious. But these words remind us that English was once more playful, more inventive, more willing to create silly-sounding words just because they were fun to say. Maybe it's time for a revival. Start calling people nincompoops again. See what happens. And that's all for this week's edition of Have You Heard? Hey kids, please leave a comment and tell me which was the most surprising one that you have never heard. I'm Troy W. Hudson, voice actor, on-camera guy, and storyteller. Until next time, stay curious.